for today's yoga practice, we're going to do a full practice, but keep it pretty short and sweet, yet very accessible. So if you're newer to the practice, or if you want to have somebody join you today that's newer, please welcome them. We'll do just kind of like the basics, foundations to vinyasa work. So yeah, we'll get right into it. What I want us to make sure you do have is something supportive to sit on, maybe a bolster or a blanket or a pillow. You might want a couple blocks if you have them nearby, or you can always, improvise. Or even if you have a strap, that might be nice as well. And again, improvise as much as you'd like. But we'll get started in a very comfortable seated position, and we'll let it open up our hips a little bit. So I find it nicer to go into a cross-legged position with the legs, but then bring your legs out a little bit more further forward, and then your feet a little wider. And then whatever you're sitting on, just make sure you have enough height where you're on the center of your sitting bones and you're not having to kind of curl to get onto the back. So if you can, get up a little bit higher. And then I find it helpful just to wiggle your butt, just to feel that sense of like groundedness through your seat. And then go ahead and close your eyes. And just absorbing your body into this space, wherever you're sitting. Acclimating. And then take a few breaths to breathe length up through your spine, all the way through the crown of your head. And then pull your shoulders back just a little bit. And immediately bring your focus to your breath. And when you inhale, let that be a chance for you to sit up even taller. And then when you exhale, try not to lose any of the height. But do observe what happens when you breathe out. Do you feel a sense of heaviness, groundedness? Is it natural for you to actually want to be a little shorter when you exhale? And again, feeling your sitting bones nice and heavy here. And just one more full breath in, and see if you can fill up all the way to the center of your chest, like straight up towards the ceiling, the sky. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll just take our arms and our hands and interlace them, and just push your arms forward for a moment. And just try and straighten out the elbows. Can you take your shoulders, take the arm bones, and pull them back into the shoulders just a little bit, and kind of soften the base of the neck down. And then again, a few breaths trying to breathe length up through the crown of the head. And just notice as you get your breath maybe a little bit fuller, you have that natural sense to want to move. So when you inhale, let's go ahead and reach the arms up. And then exhale, just keep your arms overhead and maybe do a little side to side motion, kind of like you're flossing into the shoulder blades. And then on the next breath out, go ahead and just push your arms forward. And then on the next breath in, go ahead and just reach your arms up. And then keep it moving as you exhale, push your arms forward. And so immediately you can kind of tap into the idea of what vinyasa actually is. And there's just that synchronicity of your breath with your movement. And when you inhale, it's a really natural ability to grow a little bit longer and lighter, more expansive, taller even. And then when you exhale, there's that sense of like kind of rooting in and grounding, stabilizing. And then take one more breath in. You're gonna reach your arms up any amount, even bring them back behind you. And then interlace your hands now at your low back. And if your shoulders are too tight, just grab a hold of your hips and kind of squeeze your elbows together. But if you can interlace, go there. Good, and just take an inhale to reach your heart up. And then we're gonna bend our elbows and send our knuckles over towards the left. And then take this outer left elbow and just hug it in towards you. Yeah. And so you're getting a little bit of a stretch right in front of your shoulder here, like right where your pec muscle is. And if you want to get a little bit into your neck here, you can look down towards the right and then let your head kind of drop over to the right. And then just keep squeezing the outer elbow in, kind of like you had a thigh master right in between your elbows. And so whenever you do vinyasa, it's really important to find space wherever we're going to be bearing weight, and a lot of times it's in the shoulder girdle. So I find it super helpful just to make sure we spend some time opening up through the shoulders. And one more breath. Alright, and if you lift your head over towards the right, just bring it up. And let's roll it over towards the left, just a little, and down. And then bring the crown of the head straight up. And then bring your knuckles behind you. And then switch sides. So knuckles over to the right, take that outer right elbow, hug it in. And just kind of working like, again, the outer elbow, as you hug it in, you'll feel that space right across the shoulder head open. And if you want to get into the neck, you can look down towards the left. And then bringing the crown of the head up. You might roll it over to the right and down. And then just bring your knuckles behind you. Bring your fingertips out in front of you. And relax the shoulders down the back, and then reach your chest a little bit. So a lot of times when we begin to hinge forward, we're going to do that in a second, you might feel like your whole body might start to round, your upper back especially. I want you to try and keep your chest nice and proud. Right? So this might be enough, just hinging forward. If you're able to bring your hands down, do that. But keep your collarbones nice and wide here. You might go a little further. Just say hi to your outer hips. Won't be here too long, just 2 more inhales. And 1 more breath, and if you exhale, you might be able to go down just a bit further. Good, and then walk your hands back in, release your legs. Notice what shin bone's on top first. Good, and then shake them out. And then we'll go on to the other side. And again, try and cross more like at the center of your shin bones, bring the legs out further in front of you instead of hugging the feet in really close, bring them away from you. And then wiggle your feet nice and wide if you can. And then wiggle your butt. And just feel like everything below the belly button is rooting down, and then everything above the belly button is ascending up. And so it's like you're creating ultimate space for your body. And then again, we'll interlace the hands and reach your arms forward. Good, and then take a big inhale, reach your arms back. And then again, as you exhale, just push your arms forward. And it might help to do this and close your eyes. We'll keep it going. But I want you to actually pay attention to any sensations that's happening in the shoulders or your back ribs or your torso. And then you'll start to move a little bit more organically. So if it makes sense for you to maybe make big like circles with the torso, or kind of hang out in one little area, just kind of finding where your body might need a little bit more attention and space, and then give yourself that. And if you did anything super asymmetrical, just make sure you balance it out. And then when you're ready, reach both arms up overhead. Let your palms face one another. And just so you have this idea, like you're rotating your palms towards each other. So there's a sense of rotation happening in your arm bone here. Good. And let's actually do the right arm first. We'll go ahead and karate chop this right hand and spin the palm. Good. And then bend the elbow. And just take this left hand and encourage your right elbow straight up. You can lean back into this. And lifting your chin up. Take another breath. Good. And then just gently release all the way up. Good. And then release. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So take your left arm up. Good. Spinning the palm. And then bend. And then just leaning your head back. And you can take your hand right above here. Just lean back into this. I'm just feeling all this length happening on the outer left side. And I am mirroring you, by the way. And then release. Ooh. So we just got the side, already got the front, and now we're going to get behind us. So take your arms out to a T. And bring your arms straight forward. And let's cross this left elbow on top first and give yourself a hug. And then try and get your arms all the way around to the shoulder blades and then drop your head in. So now we're just letting the shoulder blades spread across your back and then let your head drop in. And take a few deep breaths into your back body, into your back ribs. And then you could stay here if this feels pretty nice, or you want a little bit deeper for the shoulders, we'll take Garudasana. So sit up tall, but keep your arms kind of wrapped up like they are. And then eventually what you can play with is trying to wrap your forearms, kind of cross them over, and then get your fingertips into your palm. And then shrug your shoulders down, so to lift your elbows up. And then send your fingertips away from your face. Give your head a little nod, yes, keep softening the base of the neck down. And one more big inhale, we won't be here too long, and just spread the arms back open. Ooh. And then switch sides. So we'll take this right arm underneath, or over, and give yourself a hug. And then just letting your head drop in. And you can take your hands to the back body, almost try and use your hands to spread your shoulder blades even further apart. And again, either staying here or coming all the way up and playing with your Garudasana. So once you can cross the forearms, get the fingertips in the palms, shrug the shoulders down. And then can you keep the base of your neck kind of pulling down as you lift your elbows up, and then fingertips forward. And then one more breath. And then just unravel the arms. Oh, yeah. And then fingertips out in front of you, and we'll just go onto the other side of the hip here. And keep the hip bones almost pinning back as you keep the chest pulling towards the top of your yoga mat. And then it might make sense for you to come onto your elbows. But again, try not to roll into a turtle shell. Keep peeking out of it. And then one more breath. And then walking your hands back in. Whew. This time, let's release the legs, and then you'll come onto your hands and knees, setting up like a tabletop position. You can take your blanket, your bolster, or whatever off to the side. And then, because we were just in so much hip flexion just now, go ahead and kind of yawn open the back of each leg, pressing the heel back. That should feel pretty good. And then switch. well. So it feels like kind of the eyelid of your elbows facing a little bit more forward and your biceps spins forward. And then soften the base of the neck down, pull the crown of the head forward, and then just feel your tailbone. Instead of it going up or down, just have it shoot straight back. You're going to take a really big breath in through your chest. And then exhale the breath out. And then again, feel that natural sense to want to move with the breath. And now this time as you inhale, go ahead and kind of pull your chest all the way forward through your arms and let your belly drop. And this time your tailbone will shoot up. Good, and then as you empty the breath out, this time go ahead and round the spine. Let your head drop, your tailbone's gonna tuck under. And then keep going here. So this is called cat and cow. And again, it's like that foundation of the synchronizing of your breath with your movement. And when you inhale, you have that natural sense to grow a lot longer and kind of lighter feeling. And then when you exhale, there's that sense of stabilizing, anchoring down through the earth. We'll do 2 more. And this time, when you inhale, keep your chest moving forward, let your belly drop, but keep your heart pretty open here. And then what we'll do is we'll try and keep our heart open, but then can you take your belly and see if you can kind of lift it up away from the ground. You got sticking a little platter underneath your gut. And then tuck your toes under, keep your chest, instead of rounding up here, I don't want you to go into any sort of turtle shell. Keep your chest moving forward. You're gonna tuck your toes under. And let's take this into a little downward facing dog and keep your knees nice and bent here. And then pedal out your feet. So like let one leg, like your heel, pull down to the mat. And really deepen that bend of that other leg. And then switch it out. And then if you're really sensitive in your hamstrings, you can bring your feet in a little wider. So instead of getting your toes together, I want you to maybe play with a wider stance here. It's a little sweeter on the backs of the legs. And again, bending your knees or shortening out your down dog. Just tinkering around with it. And especially just your first down dog of the day, or maybe ever, give yourself a whole lot of wiggle room. And then keep walking it out. And then switching onto the last side here. So in a more classical variation of down dog, your feet will be about hip distance apart. But again, be nice to yourself. If you need to go wider, it's all good. And then let's all just bend our legs enough to lift our heels up. And then try and get your butt to reach up towards the ceiling or the sky. And then look at your hands. Make sure they're parallel. A lot of times one hand likes to kind of creep forward more than the other. And you can spin the hands out a little bit just so the eyelids of the elbows are facing forward, so you can let your chest, instead of going into your turtle shell, try and pull your heart wider. And now everybody pull your hips back. Get nice and long through the side body. And then if you can, you're going to try and pull your heels now down towards the floor. It's okay if they don't touch, and then can you pull your legs even further back. Maybe you start to firm up and lift your kneecaps up. You might be able to straighten your legs. And then as you inhale, come into plank pose. Maybe you need to drop onto your knees, it's all good. But in your legs, don't have floppy legs. Really strong legs, activate them. Maybe roll your inner thighs up and then scoot your tailbone back and then come out of your turtle shell, look forward, take a big breath in. And then exhale right into your down dog again. And let's do that just 2 more times. So inhale, come forward into plank. You can open up in the shoulders a bit more. And then exhale, down dog. And then one more time. Inhale, come forward into plank. And then drop onto your knees. So it's like a bent knee plank. So when you're here, I don't want you to make a little TP or, get floppy with your pelvis here. I want you to get in nice and lifted. And then pull your chest forward. You remember all that space that we found in the shoulders? We're going to start to utilize it just a little bit. And again, check out your hands. Make sure they're under the shoulders. And then let your biceps spin forward just a little bit. Keep your chest moving forward. Take a big inhale, and I want you to bring your elbows straight back. Don't let them come out to the sides like chicken wings. Just straight back, and we're gonna try and hover. Get the inner hand heavy. Just for 3, 2, row. And then take a breath in, and then press up. So we'll do that a few times, just building some strength in the upper body. Take an inhale, and then exhale, bend. Take an inhale, exhale, press back up 2 more times. Take an inhale, exhale, elbows in. Maybe come down a little lower, take a breath in. Press your head back up. And then last time, let's see if we can hover here. So elbows in by your ribs, chest forward. Can you get your belly to lift up away from the ground for 3, 2, and then all the way onto your belly. Very graceful of me. Good. So let's just actually bring the elbows underneath the shoulders for a second. Setting up what we call Sphinx pose, so we won't go into Cobra quite yet. Let me squish that forward. And then wiggle the legs back. So if you're newer to yoga, I would say the most tight part in just normal human bodies is the shoulder girdle. So it does take some time to get used to vinyasa yoga in the sense of opening up the chest, like up dog, chaturanga. It's really challenging. So take some time to pay a little bit more attention to the shoulders here. So as your elbows are underneath the shoulders, can you pull the shoulders back? And when you do that, notice how like the shoulder blades on the back body seem to press forward a little bit. See if you can find that. So it's like the opposite of a turtle shell. Your collarbones are peeling open. Gonna get your chest as high as you can. And now it's tempting to kind of lead with the chin here and just jut it out. But notice how the back of my neck and my back of my head got pretty short. Pull the chin in just a little bit. Kind of look down on your cheekbones. Good. And just notice how high your chest is. Keep it that high. And now bring your hands right alongside your rib cage. Good. Again, just like we found that little push-up thing that we did. Elbows in. Now traction your hands onto the mat. Pull your hands back to pull your chest forward. Keep your legs super strong. The tops of your feet stay down. Good. Take another inhale. Good. And then as you exhale, I want you to pull your chest forward to get it lower all the way onto the mat. Good. And let's just do this 2 times. Inhale, come all the way back up, cobra pose. Elbows hug in. Chest feels fluffy as you pull it forward. Good. And then as you exhale, lowering it down. And then one more time, legs stay strong, elbows in, lift your chest up. And then one more big breath in, and really try and pull your chest forward, elbows stay in, shoulder heads stay high as you come all the way down. And then let's take child's pose. So bring your toes together, knees can be wide, and then just dropping your butt all the way towards the heels here. Yeah. Just letting yourself kind of gather back into a steady breath, an inhale and an exhale. You might even be able to go to a place with your breath where the length of your inhale matches the length of your exhale. And then take another breath in. And go ahead and tuck your toes under, come right into downward facing dog. Good. And then peek at your hands, bend your knees a little bit, and just slowly walk forward to the top of your yoga mat. Good. And then once you're there, go ahead and bend the knees just a little bit, drop your head and let yourself dangle. And you can start to sway side to side. And then just check out your forearms and go ahead and cross them the other way here. Maybe bend your knees a little deeper. And this time, if it makes sense for you to kind of bob up and down, let the head go even a little bit further. It's kind of feeling the heaviness of your upper body pull you longer down towards the floor. And then release the hands. And if you have your 2 blocks nearby, I find it helpful just to already grab them and stick them towards the top of your mat. And then Just bending the knees, and you'll slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. See if you can keep the head feeling pretty floppy and heavy. And then once you come up, finding your Tadasana so your big toes can be together. And then whatever, the width of your feet are going to dictate the space between the heels. But if you have anything going on in your hips or your lower back and that feels awkward, just bring your feet distance apart. And then spin the palms out. And just like we did in the very beginning when we were seated, take a few breaths to breathe life up through your spine. And just giving yourself permission to take up all the space that was given to you. Like fill the room up. Getting your feet heavier, the crown of the head higher. And then on the next inhale, we'll just go ahead and see how high we can get the chest up. Good, and then keep all the height without losing any of it. Open your mouth as you exhale. If you know Ujjayi, come into that, and on your inhale, we'll reach the arms all the way up. And then on your exhale, bend the knees a little bit and just exhale, fold all the breath out. You can always catch your blocks here, let your head drop. We'll just do a half salutation, and then inhaling, you'll come up halfway. You can always grab your blocks. And then exhale, fold all the way back down. Good, and then you're gonna come all the way up to standing, inhaling, rising all the way up, arms wide if you have all the space in your room. And then exhaling, hands through to your heart. Let's do that again, just a half salutation. Inhaling, arms rise on up. Exhaling, forward fold. And again, bend the knees if you need. Inhaling, lengthening forward halfway. Kind of like you're opening up a jackknife here. And then exhale, fold all the breath back out. Good, and then inhaling, rising all the way up. And then exhaling, let's pull the hands through to your chest. And so we'll get right into it here. So reach your arms up as you breathe in. Urdhva Hastasana, Urdhva meaning up, hands meaning hasta, and then exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana is what it's called in Sanskrit. And then halfway up, so Ardha Uttanasana, Ardha meaning half, and then grab a hold of your blocks. And we're gonna take our left leg and lunge it super far back. And just bring the blocks right underneath the shoulders. And if you don't have blocks, you can always go into your hands or whatever support that you improvise. And I'm gonna start to bend to this front knee, get your hips to sink low. And then shrug the shoulders down. Ooh. And you might want a little wiggle front to back, just kind of waking up the back hip flexor. And then just taking another inhale, keep your chest feeling fluffy and full, reach it up a little higher. Keep bending to that front knee. And then we'll go ahead and just straighten out this front leg. And then just peeling your toes back, drop your head. And you'll say hi to your hamstring. And then we'll start moving with us. So when you inhale, go ahead and bend that front knee, drop your hips, lift your heart up. And then as you exhale, straighten it out. 3 more times, inhaling, so finding again that synchronicity, that vinyasa. Every breath in is going to make you feel longer, and then every breath out is going to ground you in as you fold towards yourself. And then one more big breath in. And then exhale, just stay put here, move your blocks off to the side. Bring your hands down, really firm up your back leg, and then step into plank pose for me. Good. And since we're just doing some foundations here, drop onto the knees. Good. And then bring your elbows in. Let's play with that little chaturanga. And see if you can get everything in one full piece to come all the way down to the mat. Good. And then bring the tops of your feet down, elbows hug in, find a little cobra pose. Take an inhale. Good. And then as you exhale, transition through a child's pose. Pull your bum towards your heels, tuck your toes under, and then come right into downward facing dog. Once you arrive into down dog, extend your left leg back as you inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to pull this left knee into your chest. And if you need to literally physically pick up that left foot, put it there, you can. And then just grab your 2 blocks and again start to sink into your hips nice and low. shrugging the shoulders down, lifting your heart up. You might want a little front to back movement. And take a big breath in, pull the shoulders back, lift your heart up, maybe lift your gaze up. And then as you exhale, go ahead and straighten out this front leg. Drop your head in. And then we'll start to move through this. So as you inhale, rebend this front knee. And then as you exhale, straighten out that front leg. Good. And then just on your own, between these two shapes, following your inhale, your exhale. And the next time you bend into that front knee, you can keep your blocks actually for this one. Pull your heart forward, take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, just step the back foot to meet your front foot and fold at the top of your mat. And then inhale, you'll rise all the way up to stand and look up. Maybe your palms kiss at the top, and then as you exhale, hands through to your chest. So we're gonna add on a little bit more from what we just did. Inhale, reach your arms. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale and lengthen. You can grab your blocks. This time we'll take the right leg and we'll lunge that foot all the way back. And then let's drop your back knee down. So if you're sensitive in this back kneecap here, you can always take the side of your mat and roll it up. I don't need my box anymore. Good. And then it gives you like kind of a little blanket for that back kneecap. And then we're just going to bring both hands to this front leg. So a lot of times we come into lunges, it's tempting just to kind of plop down. But what tends to happen is that I shorten out through my lower back here. I want us to find a little bit more integrity in this pose, so just kind of lengthen your tailbone out. It might be easier to do more of like a 90-degree shape in that front leg. Good. And then reach the arms up. And let's grab a hold of this right wrist with your left hand and just pull it up and over. You might get a nice little lovely stretch across this whole hip flexor area. And you can look down, over towards the left. And just keep reaching up. Can you drop your left butt a little lower? Maybe reach your heart up a little higher. One more breath. And then bring both arms up. You might look up, maybe your palms kiss at the top. Reach your hands even further back. And then exhale, hands down to the mat. Step into your plank pose from here. And your option, you can always head into down dog. Or drop into the knees, elbows in. Lower them all the way down, heart forward. Take a breath in for your cobra pose. And as you exhale, you can go through child's pose and into down dog, or see if you can press through a plank pose. Now we're facing dog. And we'll extend our right leg back, inhaling. And as you exhale, step the foot forward. And then drop your back knee down. And then just bring both hands to this front thigh. And again, just being mindful of what this feels like if you were to plop all the way into this. So you can come up a little higher, keep your right butt moving down, and then think about your belly pulling up, and then reach your arms up. And then you can grab a hold of this left hand with your right wrist and just pull it up and over. Keep dropping your right butt down. And then one more breath. Reach your arms up, maybe look up. And then bring your hands all the way down. And tuck your back toes under. Reach the back leg up to straight and look forward. And without making any noise, just step your foot towards the top of your mat and go right into your forward fold. Good. And then bring your big toes together. We're going to go ahead and bend our knees. Shift the weight, like instead of to the balls of the feet, more into the heels. Like you're sitting down into a chair. And then begin to reach your arms up overhead. And we'll actually come into chair pose. So drop your bum nice and low. Let's see if you guys can hold this for 4 breaths today. If any moment you start to have a little bit of a freak out, just straighten out your legs, it's okay. So think of your sitting bones getting heavier, your arms getting lighter and taller. For 3. 1. I can't count. 2. And then reach your arms all the way up. Hands through to your heart. And so just for 1 breath, come right into chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to do a Surya Namaskar B-ish. And just step right into plank pose from here. So your choice, you can go right into down dog. Or bend your elbows back if you wanted a little bit more challenge. Keep your legs lifted. And then inhale, you can come into cobra. If you want to put up dog, you would keep your legs lifted and pull your shoulders to the back of your mat. And then exhale, we'll all meet in down dog. Let the inhale extend your right leg back, breathe in. Let the exhale step the right foot towards the top of your mat, a little closer to your right thumb. And for today, let's keep the back heel lifted. So more like a traditional lunge shape. And then bend into this front knee so it's right above the ankle. And then bring your hands up off the mat and bring your hands alongside your hips. Flip your palms down and bring your arms overhead. And you're going to start to lift all the way up into a high lunge. So I find it really helpful to bend the back knee so I can find that lengthening of the tailbone straight down. And then lift your chest up. Without sticking your butt out, can you maybe re-straighten the back leg just a little bit? Keep bending to that front knee. And we'll take 2 more breaths here and try and lift your heart up super duper high. Whew. Bend in a little deeper. 1 more big inhale, maybe arms back, look up. And then exhale, hands down onto the mat, step into your plank pose. And then your choice, downward facing dog or drop onto the knees, elbows in. Or keep your legs lifted, up dog or cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Now left side, inhaling, reaching the leg back. Exhale, hug the knee in. And like you want to heel toe the foot towards the top of your mat. Keep the back heel uber lifted, almost like there's a wall that my heel is pressing into. And then hands alongside your hips. Reach your arms all the way up. And then notice, if you were to try and keep the back leg straight, how you get pretty sassy in your lower back here. You can bend the knee just a little bit. Try and lengthen your tailbone down so it feels like your frontal hip bones, instead of them spilling forward, they're almost lifting up slightly. And then once you find that sturdy pelvis, maybe you restrain the back leg. And I want you to try and get your arms as high as you can. Instead of just lifting your front ribs to do that, can you take your back ribs and lift them up to get the arms higher? 1 more big inhale here, maybe you look up. And then exhale, hands down into the mat. Ooh. Take a little vinyasa. And then let's shift forward into plank pose. And again, elbows are going to stay in. Don't let them come out to the sides. And we're going to see how slow we can lower onto our bellies here. So bring your elbows straight in. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and then all the way down. Good job, yogis. Coming onto your elbows again for your Sphinx shape. And let everything slow down. Notice if your heart rate starts to build. It's completely normal. You start to get those little beads of sweat on you. And see if you can bring your breath back to that just simple inhale, that simple exhale. And there's that sense of evenness with the breath. There's no rush with it. So again, just getting used to the Sphinx shape. Pull these shoulders back. If you need to kind of wiggle the legs back, go there. And again, if you're newer, it is tempting to let your legs come really wide, like the feet outside of the hips here, but either big toes kissing, you can get there, or feet at least hip distance apart. And then dig your elbows into the mat and pull your heart forward. And give your head a little nod, yes. Actually, can you keep your chest moving forward here? Lift it up a little higher. Take an inhale. And then open your mouth, let it go. And then we'll play with cobra pose again. So bringing your hands alongside your rib cage. And again, there's a big difference between coming up and letting your elbows come out to the sides versus like the inner elbow reaching straight back. And then let that pick up your shoulder blades. Pull your elbows straight back. Crush your 10 toenails onto your mat. And then pull your hands back. Try and get your chest to look forward. Kind of like the lady on top of a ship. Like she's like, whoo! So you can get your legs that strong and your heart even higher and more long towards the front of the room. Take one more breath. And then slowly lower down. Bring your favorite cheek to the mat. And then let's take this kind of C variation with the arms. So interlace your hands. And we'll do this twice here. So take your knuckles to your tailbone. And if your shoulders are too tight, you can always grab your outer hips, just hug the elbows in. If you can, interlace and use your knuckles to kind of guide your tailbone towards the backs of your legs here. So see, like stick your butt up for a second. That's where your tailbone is not going towards the backs of your legs, it's kind of going straight up towards the ceiling. Do the opposite, like pull your tailbone towards the backs of your legs and use your knuckles to help you. And then keep that energy in your pelvis, but then can you walk your feet further back and crush, especially your baby toe down on the mat. And keep lengthening your tailbone. And then pick your shoulder heads up. And this time you can let your knuckles slide all the way down your back, your bum. And then start to lift your shoulders up. Good, and then peel your heart forward. And feel the shoulder blades press into your chest. Take another breath in. Maybe lift up even more with your heart. And then as you breathe out, pull your chest forward to lower down. Look over to the other cheek. Good. And then last time here, this time cross your thumbs the weird way. So it should feel like a stranger's hand. Maybe it's a little sweaty hand that you don't recognize. And then again, use your knuckles to guide your tailbone down. And I'll start to pull your heart forward. Good. And then can you get your inner thigh rolled a little higher? Go ahead, let's reach the right leg up. And then roll your inner left thigh up. And then can you have your left foot match your right foot? And then let's reach your left leg up just a little bit higher. And then have your right foot match your left foot. And then pull your knuckles towards your feet. Pull your heart forward and pull your legs any amount towards the back of the mat. One more big breath in. And then exhale, lower down. And then bring your hands alongside your ribs. Tuck your toes under, firm your legs up. One more little fiery thing, kind of. And we're gonna see if we can press right into our plank pose from here. And from here, take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, lift your hips up and back. Go ahead and bend your knees, look forward. Drop onto your knees, cross your ankles, and come to lay down on your backs. So one of the real pillars of a vinyasa practice, I found, is just always having that sense of stability, especially through the center here. So before we start to wind down, let's do a little bit of core work here. So what I want you to do is bring your hands out towards the sides and to the hands to the back of the head. And make sure your feet are in line with your sitting bones here, and just knees are upright. Feet are down on the mat for now. And when you breathe in, just exaggerate the breath, moving into your chest, and feel like the very top of your sternum reaching towards the back of your yoga mat. And then when you exhale, do the opposite. Like feel the very bottom of your sternum, and reach it towards like the top of your mat, or like towards your pubic bone. And then do that again. And then when you exhale, kind of feel your back ribs get heavier. You can almost push them down into your yoga mat. And then we'll start to move with this. So take a breath in. Feel the crown of the head kind of reach towards back of the room here. And now as you exhale, push your back ribs into the mat and just start to lift up. So just a little crunch. Lift your head and shoulders up, and now as you inhale, lay all the way back down. See if you can make this almost meditative. Exhale, come on up. Inhaling, lay down. Exhaling, come on up. Inhaling, lay down. If any of you have been lucky enough to practice with a carpenter, and come on up as you exhale. These are called carpenter crunches. Just straight front and back movement. Exhale, come on up. But very effective, especially when you're just starting out. Inhale, lay down. Exhale, come on up. Good. And then you can keep doing just a simple up and down movement. Exhale, come up. If you want to add in a little bit more, you'll stay up as you exhale, and then on your next inhale, you'll start to straighten your legs out, maybe to like 45 degrees. And then as you exhale, you'll bring your toes back down, and you'll see if you can come up a little bit higher, maybe a little shake. And then inhale, lay all the way back down. And then exhale, come on up. Inhale, legs out. Exhale, feet down, up higher. And then inhale, lengthen the spine as you come all the way back down. And then exhaling up. Inhale, legs strong. Exhaling, toes down, reach up. And then inhaling, laying all the way onto the mat. 2 more rounds of this. Exhaling. Inhale, legs long. Exhaling, come up a little higher. See if you can find that little shake. Ooh. And then inhale, relax. And then the last one, exhaling. Come on up. Inhale, reaching up. And then exhaling, toes down. Maybe you reach your arms forward. Come up a little bit higher for me. Ooh. And then relax everything down onto the mat. Ooh. Hug your knees and give them a good little squeeze. And then we'll just finish off with a sweet little easy twist here. So keep your knees hugging into your chest. Scoot your butt over towards the right side of your mat, and then drop your knees over towards the left. And just opening up your arms, you can look over towards the right. And then bring your legs up through center. Just switch sides out. Just scoot my butt a little bit more towards the left. And then drop the knees to the right. And let your gaze just plop over towards your left hand. And then coming back through center. And for our very last pose, just pretend to be a little happy baby. So staying on your back so you can reach behind the knees or maybe get to the outside edges of your feet. Reach your tailbone forward. And then you can straighten one leg at a time. Maybe roll side to side here. Maybe both legs. And as we start to kind of settle in here, if there's any other little poses that you might like, if you want to come up and do a little hamstring stretch, like a forward fold, if you want to get your hips, you can do a little reclined pigeon. But for now, on this video, we'll just plop right into our Shavasana. You can always stick some blocks underneath the legs, cover up, and let your palms just plop open up towards the sky. Maybe tuck your shoulders underneath you. And just letting all of this work that we did, all of that thoughtfulness, all the physicality, take a rest in your body. And do not force a single thing. Your breath will happen on its own. Any little fidgeting, let it move through your body. Try not to control anything, especially your thoughts. And just let yourself truly drift off here. Shavasana.